Okay, good morning.
Morning.
For the record. Go now. All right. Now, having said that, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Thank you all for being here. And if I could just have our parliamentarian please conduct some roll call to verify quorum.
Commissioner Mayuga.
Here.
Shamonda Graham.
Here.
Joseph Gregory. Elizabeth Nauer. Present. Madeline Legori.
Present.
Elizabeth Mayer.
Present.
Russell Pacunis.
Present.
Matthew Schneid.
Present.
Scott Higgins.
Present.
Douglas Swan. Lisa Urban.
Present.
Jared Whittington.
Present.
We have quorum 11 out of 12.
Thank you very much. And anybody, any corrections to the minutes from our last meeting, which was held on April 9, 2026? Take that as a no. If I could please have a motion to adopt the minutes? What are we picking? Let's just start closest, Madeline.
Okay.
And second, we'll just go right
Yes,
next
I
to
can
Elizabeth.
Okay. Are there any objections to the motion adopting the minutes of the April 9th, 2026 ECB meeting? Any abstentions? Okay, seeing none, hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously.
Thank you, everybody, for that. If I could just now ask you, probably all know our General Counsel Frank Inks, who's going to present something I need.
Good morning, members. Good morning, Chair. On behalf of the Chair, it is my honor to present a proposal to appoint Commissioner Vilda Mayuga as Executive Director of the Environmental Control Board. The Executive Director title is referenced in Chapter 3 of the Oath Rules, including the Executive Director's authority to accept post-judgment motion, to amend records, to accept post-sealing motions, to remove or modify a seal, under sections 3-19, 3-22, and 3-23. In accordance with Charter Section 1049A sub A, an executive director may be appointed subject to the approval of the board. As members may recall, previous oath commissioners have served in the role of executive director. As such, I am calling for a motion to approve the appointment of Commissioner Vilda Mayuga as Executive Director of the Environmental Control Board. Do we have a motion? We have a motion from Scott Higgins. Do we have a second? Have a second. At this time, I will ask if there are any objections to the appointment of Commissioner Vilda Mayuga as Executive Director. Seeing none, hearing none, the motion is approved.
We gotta move into executive session, so if I could have a motion to get us there. It's just to the back of it. Okay, so we'll have to have this way. In a second. And we'll just, yeah.
Okay. Are there any objections to the motion to go into executive session? Seeing none, hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously.
Okay, so we're
I'm
gonna-
I'm going to pause the recording.
Thank you. Welcome back. Okay, we are going to move to any request for cease and desist orders by DEP. Russell, why don't you?
All right, thank you. Russell Pacunis with DEP. So this, I don't even know where to start with this. But it's a little bit of a convoluted story. So we are making a request to the board to issue a cease and desist order to Broadway 111 Street condominium, which is at 600 west of 111 Street in Manhattan. This is a large pre-war condominium building that has at street level, in addition to the 140 odd apartments, at street level, there is a Familia Pizza, a Just Salad, and a Pressed Juice Bar. This building was originally ordered to comply with DEP's backflow prevention requirements in 2013. And we issued that order to the condominium because it has, the building has, and at the last meeting, we went through some of the reasons why buildings have to install backflow devices. So this building has a booster pump. And a booster pump is, so the water pressure created when water comes down to the city from upstate is generally enough to get water up to about the 6th floor of buildings. And so if the building is taller than that, it requires a pump to get the water up to the rest of the building. I think this building is 12 stories, so the building has a booster pump. The building has commercial dishwashers in it. I'm assuming from the pizzeria and the Just Salad and the juice bar. The building has a laundry room, which is considered a commercial laundromat. The building has a fire sprinkler system. The building has a roof tank, and the building has a large boiler. Any one of these things would mean that they need to have backflow prevention installed on the building, and they have like half a dozen of these things. So they were ordered to comply in 2013. When they did not comply, a summons was issued, and they appeared on the summons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And ultimately, after the 10th time, they were found in violation. And they were represented by counsel, Jack Jaffa, which is one of the, I see Shamanda rolling her eyes, which is one of the high volume reps that appears on millions of oath hearings. And ultimately, when the hearing took place, they denied with no rebuttal. So they did not contest that they're in violation, and they were found in violation. And based on the finding of violation and the fact that they still had not complied, we asked the board for a cease and desist order in 2017. At the July 2017 meeting, the board approved a cease and desist order for this building. And on the cease and desist order, again, through Jaffa's office, they appeared 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times on the cease and desist order. And during this whole process of appearing at oath, they consistently maintained that they understood that they were required to do this, and they committed to do it. They submitted the plans and had the plans approved to do it. But then first, it was that the elevators in the building needed to be replaced. Then it was that Con Ed was requiring them to make extensive repairs on the gas system. Then it was that the buildings department had determined that the laundry room in the building was illegal. So it was one excuse after another why installing the backflow devices had to be put back to the end of the line of the things that needed to be done in this building. And ultimately, and Kelly Corso, and I don't know if Kelly is on. Kelly seems, oh, Kelly's here. Hi, Kelly. So apparently this came before the board back in 2018 18 over the issue of turning the water off. And the determination of the board at the time apparently was that because there are 140 something apartments in this building, that the board decided not to turn the water off or approve the turning off of the water. Is that your?
There was a lot of Kelly Corso. There was a lot of back and forth with the board about the fact that residential.
I remember.
Building condos, I believe.
Yeah, that's about 150 condos.
And there was a lot of discussion about whether, the building really knew what was going on. The rep came in, the high volume rep came in the ceiling hearings, as you were saying, didn't really know much. And there was concern that, building management, the residents didn't really know what was going on in the building. So, we agreed that we would table it, the board would table it, and, DEP would send an inspector to the building to see, if there was someone that they could talk with. And then follow up, next, and DEP was to follow up the next board meeting, DEP indicated that they were doing some internal discussions about, the backflow shut off, says the general, and they wanted to table it. And that's where it left off.
Okay. So now fast forward to today. We recently revived this issue by issuing them another summons. And they appeared again by Jaffa. And they, again, as they did with the summons 9 years ago, they denied with no rebuttal, and they were found in violation. They still have not complied. And the issue that adds on to this at this point is that there is actually backflow occurring at the building. Some of the attachments to the cease and desist order, which I'm not an expert on interpreting some of these drafts and stuff, but I'm told that they show that the meter is running backwards.
It does.
Yeah.
It's clearly going the wrong way.
So we discussed this internally, and I then discussed this the other day. After we discovered that there was an old cease and desist order, I talked to Peter about whether we should bring this back before the board, based on the fact that the old order is 9 years old. And if we're going to proceed against the building, to do it on the basis of a 9-year-old order might not be that great. So I did very specifically ask them, in view of the fact that this is probably 400 or 500 people living in this building, if it's 140, 150 condos, are we prepared to turn the water off? And the answer that I got is that subject to final approval from our commissioner, they are prepared to turn the water off if they don't comply with this. I just want to make clear that all we are asking you to do today is to issue a new cease and desist order, which we would ask to be expedited with an expedited hearing date. And we will then, in addition to serving it normally, we will make sure that they get a copy at Jaffa, because we know Jaffa represents them, so that they will then again be back in front of a hearing officer on this whole issue of complying. So we're not asking you to approve turning the water off today. We're just asking you to approve issuing a new current cease and desist order to get this back in front of a judge.
Questions?
Yeah, I mean, I did, at the last meeting, I think I did say that we would not be bringing you requests related to residential. And now, of course, the first request is residential. But it is because of the unique history and because backflow actually is occurring. And so there is the potential in the roof tank, in the booster pump, in the boiler. There is a potential for stale in the fire suppression system, for stale, old, bacterially infected water to be going back into the water main. And so they've had 13 years to comply with this, and we really need them to do something at this point.
Is there? I know it's only, now I'm like Shamanda, with some just out of curiosity, understanding how it works since I new to, especially with this. So we issue the board, if the board agrees to issue the system, the service order, bring it to a hearing, let's pretend the hearing officer agrees with DEP, and what happens after that?
Well, so, I mean, if they show up at the hearing, the first thing is that they do have approved plans. They're 13 years old, so, but they probably, if there haven't been any changes to the water system in the building, they can probably still use them. So there are approved plans for installing the devices. They just have to get a plumber to come in and do it. The other thing is that when I looked this up on the buildings department website the other day, the big red thing
Yeah.
on the screen is there, that they have open class 1 violations, I think.
Yes.
Need to be cleared before they could move forward, no, because they already.
Not with DEP.
I'm sorry?
Would those violations need to be cleared before they can?
Well, they need, in order to do this, they need a permit, a building
DOB.
department permit. And I don't think they can get it if they have that red thing on the
Yeah.
page when you open it.
What are the?
So, yeah, I was just about to say, there are two things happening on the DOB website. The first thing is the laundromat that you speak of, that is commercial with the 6, I think it said 6 washers. That is still a pressing issue for DOB. There's an unresolved summons related to the laundromat. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that banner that you see is a DOB civil penalty for having a class 1 violation. And not correcting it. It's likely the laundromat.
And that's usually $5,000.
This one, it depends on how old it is. It would have
So-
been it would have been either 1,500 or 3,000. I just had it open. I can tell you. Give me 1 second. Of course, it just closed, but I'll get it back up.
But paying a penalty is easy. The question is, they might have to actually correct this violation before they can get another permit.
So I don't handle the permit, so I don't want to give you the wrong answer. I know that oftentimes the civil penalties will create a barrier. I do not think that having the open violation will create a barrier for getting a permit to do what they need to do, that the
Because
violation is not
the
going to.
proof that they come into compliance, the test report, they have to put the barcode sticker from the DOB permit on
Mhm.
the test report that they submit to us. So they can't comply with this without getting DOB permit.
Hold on, I'm just gonna see how much.
Is
it
there a
is.
way that if in fact the uncorrected, not the unpaid penalty, because to me that seems like a no-brainer, they can just pay the penalty.
Mhm.
But if in fact the uncorrected laundry room violation is an impediment to them getting a DOB permit, could that be worked out between the agencies so that in fact they can correct that, put in the backflow preventer, since this is sort of like a public health issue?
The violation is not an impediment to getting, no, what happens at DOB, the civil penalty can serve as an impediment, but not the violation.
Once they pay it, to your point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, okay.
And that civil penalty, well, not so bad. They only have one open file. Hold on. They have a lot of DOBs. Let me just see what the amount is. It's 1,500. So it's pretty old. That tells me it's very old. It's from 2017.
Same time as when you started.
Okay, so that shouldn't be really an impediment then to that.
And it's for, and it actually, you know what, Russ? I'll follow up with you. I'm going to go and look at this because the summons it's connected to is resolved. And we don't generally resolve summonses if they haven't paid that penalty. So there may be a disconnect on my side, so I will follow up after
Okay.
the meeting.
Sounds good.
If we issue the cease and desist, there's going to be a hearing and what they'll be able to discuss this and resolve the matter of the DOB penalty. That'll be all part of their process to resolve this, correct? Once we issue the cease and desist, there's a hearing on this matter.
Right, and yeah.
Have a discussion that happens. Responded.
Well, I mean, what we would expect them to come into a cease and desist hearing and say is that they've hired a plumber and that the work is scheduled and that they have all the required paperwork that they need to go ahead and do it. If they need a couple of months to do it or something like that, then that's probably okay. But again, since there is an active condition at this building, that's why we would ask for the order and the hearing date to be expedited. This has to get taken care of now.
Given the history, is there a way to either have it done or, you know, if they don't comply? Just because, I mean, this has been going on for so many years, like an emergency repair order or something along those lines, I can tell them.
You mean, can the city do it?
Well, yeah, eventually, let's say they don't comply. Yeah.
And the devices are installed inside the building after the water meter, so it would require access to the building. So I don't think there's any way the city could do it.
Is there any means of requiring appearance by the actual respondent and not just a representative at the hearing?
I don't know if there's a way that we could require anybody specific to appear at the hearing. I know at the hearings that took place back in 2018, somebody named John Duvall from Orsid Realty, which is apparently the managing agent, did appear at some of the hearings. And I think Orsid Realty is still the mailing address for them. So,
So hopefully somebody will come and understand that this is.
Yeah,
Could result in taking out the water service.
the lawyers at Jaffa deal with this sort of thing.
That's a good question. I mean, I'm not, although I am an attorney, I am not the attorney for the board. Can the, in issuing the system, this is order and scheduling an expedited hearing at the request of petitioner. To your point, Elizabeth, can that order include, can the board say, you have a right to representation, so by all means have that, but can the board here, can we all decide
That you want. the
a
name.
live person from the actual petitioner, sorry, respondent, Mr. Shaw?
I think the oath rules might, we would probably have to look at the oath rules and
And the attorney.
yeah, our appearance rules.
In the ordinary course, it would be incumbent upon the respondent to bring whatever evidence and witness testimony it feels to proffer their case.
I think that's something the hearing officer could direct once they were in front of the hearing officer, right?
Once the adjudication takes place, that may be something within the hearing officer's discretion.
Yeah,
Is there a contempt, like, let's say they don't do this now, is there a vehicle for contempt?
There would not be, there would be, the hearing officer may take an adverse inference if that's within their discretion.
if they don't have to show up, they have counsel and they're being represented. Like, it's unfortunate that like it's not getting, first of all, we don't know that it's not getting to the condo board. And we're also making a lot of differences here, but they have counsel and it's incumbent on them to speak with the building. Like, we don't need to force them to do it. I'd like them to do this. Like, it's really unfortunate we're here 13 years later. And I think we have to take action because it's now causing a problem. But if they don't want to show up to their hearing and they're sending their representative, I think that's their prerogative.
I think the rules require.
I'm sorry, I need to leave for another meeting, so I don't know if we can, I'm just mentioning that in case we could vote soon, but obviously if I don't want to cut off this further discussion.
That's my question.
Okay, I mean, we were going beyond just issuing
Yeah.
this and this is because
Yeah.
I think we're all curious about how ultimately this will be addressed because we care. But yes.
Yeah, I don't think showing up is gonna be an issue. They showed up for almost 3 years, almost 30 times on this. So I don't doubt they're gonna show up. It's, are they gonna do anything?
Okay. Anything else before we take a vote? Okay. Could I have a motion to approve the issuance of a cease and desist order in the matter of Broadway 111th Street condominium? We'll go with Scott and then second Madeline.
Are there any objections to the motion approving the cease and desist order? Seeing none, hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously.
And I think there was an issue about whether this would be considered to supersede the order that was issued in 2017 and whether that order would need to be discontinued or something of that nature. I mean, since there would be a new order, I think the old order becomes irrelevant, but
We can put that in the new order. We can make reference to the 2017 order. Looking at Peter and Kelly.
Yeah, I can go with that.
Okay. All right. Okay, that was the only case you were bringing,
Thank
right?
you.
The only cease and desist. Are there any other questions for today? Hearing none. Favorite topic, next meeting? August 6th or 13th, is in the middle of people taking vacation, so.
the sixth is definitely.
Any preference?
The further we go into August, the worse it becomes.
Yeah.
To me, so the sixth,
The 6th?
yeah.
Yeah.
Of the two, that's the only one I can.
The 6th?
Yeah. Six.
Lisa?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah? Okay. Okay, there you go. It sounds like, parliamentarian was talking to all of you before we got here. Okay, the 6th, it is, did everybody sign the attendance sheet?
No.
No. Who has the attendance sheet? Oh. Okay, just one motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. Some hands, Elizabeth, Matthew.
Are there any objections to the motion to adjourn the meeting? Seeing none, hearing none, the motion is approved unanimously.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody, very much.